Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Today, we have a subject matter that's dear to my heart. And if Google and YouTube see fit to not interrupt my live stream, we'll get through this in a relatively short period of time. So we're going to talk about my statistics, my view counts, and the fact that the powers that be are suppressing my channel. Once again, suppressing my channel. In fact, I have found that I am the second most censored channel on YouTube, only surpassed by Bono's Entertainment, who has more subscribers, over 20,000, and he averages about 30 views per video. Because the both of us have had our notification bells removed from all of our subscriber base. So let me get to the point here before Google once again decides to change the way people can view my point of view. And let's talk about what the name of my channel means. And then we're going to talk about how much money I have earned and how many views and where my videos are played. So I'm going to go to some notes here, and I'm going to read my notes. I'm not going to be able to see the comments for a few minutes, but let me go over the notes that I have made here, which I try to do to keep it in an orderly fashion. Number one, I will tell you that as my channel name infers, hoodwinking is part of the name of my channel, because the general population of this world has been hoodwinked by the powers that be. And what I mean by that is your understanding of religion, God, and whose side the government is on is completely, for the most part, nothing more than an indoctrination and mass brainwashing of the peoples of this world. I can tell you that at one point in my life, I was a Mason, although they will tell you you can never unbe a Mason or never remove yourself from Masonry. Well, I did. And I did so because for me, it was a completely non-advantageous thing to do. It took up a lot of time. I met a lot of people that I didn't like because basically every person I met at the lodge had an angle to get me to go to their house with my heavy equipment and or company and do work for less money than it would cost me for fuel, promising me that someday in the future, as a brother Mason, they would repay the favor. Well, in fact, I needed to pay a $9,000 a month mortgage on 3 properties. And their purchasing of lunch, literally purchasing a sandwich and a drink, whilst they asked me to do a $3,500 tree job, was the final straw. And I told the men that were in the garage at the time, I'm not interested in this, or I brought my equipment to do the job. I figured it would be reasonable to ask them for $2,000 to take down the limb of the tree and some other trees in the backyard. But apparently they had other things in mind, which is they were going to buy me lunch, possibly take me out to dinner at a future date. And I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with Masonry. I'm done with you people asking me to come to your house, and I spend 6 or 7 hours getting prices for door handles. The door handles in the doors one fella wanted were $10,000 US. The handles themselves were $2,500 a piece. The doors were another $5,000, not finished. And he wanted them stained and varnished with McCloskey's Spar Varnish, which is the best. And my suggestion to him, and it would have to be at least 4 coats over the course of a few weeks to let it dry. and then each coat had to be steel wool down in between coats. So we had $10,000 in general merchandise to get the doors to his house. And I gave him a price, which was really good, for just a few $1,000s to do the work. And what he offered me was $1,000 to do the work and 6 hours to find the doorknobs and handles that he wanted. It was something along those lines is what the time I had involved. 6 hours. I got books. I still have those books on doorknobs and door handles. And he wanted to give me $1,000 for about 2 weeks work. I quit. Okay, so I'm no longer a Mason. But I did learn that hoodwinking means to basically falsify information and get the general population or whomever you want into your little niche in life, which is what they were doing to me. They were promising me the big job at the end of whatever it was that our friendship, somewhere along the line, they were going to come along with the big job. That's hoodwinking. They were never going to give me a big job. What they were going to give me was a sandwich and a bottle of Pepsi Cola for lunch. And that's all I was going to see from them. And $1,000 to use my equipment. Probably, I did take the limb down. I didn't do the rest of the work. It took 2 days to get the limb down and cut up. 2 6.5 or 7 hour days. Typically, I charged $75 an hour, but for tree work, $100 an hour because it was over a building. So say 15 hours. That should have been $1,500 minimum. And they bought me a Hero from Blimpies and a Coke, a Pepsi. Okay, so this is what hoodwinking is. That's the general idea, to get someone to believe that something is something else. So, the name of my channel is Hoodwinked by an Angel because the government and the Vatican and the Yale Skull and Bones Society and the Bohemian Grove Society have you believing that the God on the dollar bill is the God of the Bible. But it's a twofold scenario. The God of the Bible is the God on the dollar bill, but it's not God per se, some supernatural being, all-knowing, all-seeing, all-loving, all-caring. It's not that God. However, what I set out to do was to prove that the dollar bill and the word one, and where we believe in one God, I set out to prove that the Bible was written by God and set out to prove that the $1 bill was in direct relationship to God, the God of all things in the known universe. What I ended up proving was that there is an ancient race of beings that has controlled this world for billions, not millions of years. And they now control every major government, every major fraternity, like the Masons, the Club of Rome, the Bilderbergers, the Illuminati. They're all fringes of this thing that we call God, but conceptualize it as an all-powerful corporation. And each of the things or aspects that I just mentioned are tangents, excuse me, tangents of this corporation, all in motion to accomplish the same goals behind the scenes. That is what the $1 bill references. And that is what I proved. And I'll show you just briefly. I'm going to show you this. This picture that you can see on my channel is in this case, it's the Yale Skull and Bones logos on the dollar bill. When you turn it upside down, it's the Bohemian Grove owl, the great horned owl on the $1 bill. There is the Yale Skull and Bones, the hog-nosed bat, which represents the Yale Skull and Bones Society. In fact, they took the picture that I represented the Yale Skull and Bones Society on my channel, and they put it on the Yale Skull and Bones Society's website as a picture that represents the Yale Skull and Bones. If you don't think that that is important, well, then I would like to see anybody else on YouTube who has done what I have done. And what I have done is proved that the Vatican, the Yale Skull and Bones Society, the Bohemian Grove Society are working in conjunction or collusion with one another. That in and of itself is enough for YouTube and or Google to do what they have done to my channel, which is reduce my statistics by turning off the notifications bell to 19,000 people. And this is the point of the video. The point of this video, aside from what I just said, is that I, Michael Fazio, have proved beyond any doubt that the Ark of the Covenant given to Moses in the book of Exodus is an exact replica on the reverse of the $1 bill, which blew away. Okay, it's an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant on the $1 bill. Exact replica. Exact replica. Scaled down. So, when people, and I mean that word rather loosely, when these people of YouTube state that my channel is a failed YouTube channel, I have to laugh. And they say this because my view counts are low. My view counts are not low because of my video content. I have 6,212 videos loaded to YouTube. I have about 2,400 public videos and another 600 or 700 on Patreon. Some of them are only for friends. Some of them are for my own personal just reference. However, my statistics show that as a Philippines vlogger, I am not a failed vlogger in the Philippines. My channel is failing because of my video content. If you were to go to my home page and look at the video that has been on my home page for 9 years, you would see that what I just previously stated, I have proven in a method where nobody on this planet, it's not even remotely possible to deny what I just said. And that's just in a 5-minute video on my home page. I have thousands of other videos. Moving past that, now the world powers that be, the governments and or religion, do they know about me? You bet they do. Does the Brotherhood of Masonry know about me? You bet they do. Does the Illuminati know about me? You bet they do. Does the Yale Skull and Bones Society? Yeah, they do. I just proved that. They took one of my pictures and put it on their website. But there has been a trend to remove the truth, or what they call shadow banning and or censoring on YouTube and Google. And that's what's going on in relationship to my view counts, which, by the way, are reduced every month for the last 10 months or maybe longer, somewhere between 2 and 11%. It varies on each month depending on what month of the year it is. So at one point, I had close to 19,000 subscribers. I'll give you the statistics now. At one point, I had close to 19,000 subscribers. Now I have 18,558. So I lost about 350 subscribers in the last 10 months. Money-wise, as far as success is concerned, my channel has earned over $25,000. Over $25,000 with 9 million views, and that includes several thousand book sales, which is pretty reasonable, although I lost track a long time ago. It also includes my Patreon account, where people will donate or pledge as much as $50 a month just to keep my channel going. And it includes AdSense, which, by the way, used to be about, it maxed out in 2015-16 at approximately $185 to $245 a month. It is now $33 to $37 a month. So it went down to about 1/9 or 1/8 of what it was 3 years ago when I had half as many subscribers. So now I have twice. Now there's reasons for that. One of the biggest reasons for the loss of income from AdSense is people getting something called ad blocker. So a large percentage of that money is gone because of ad blocker. But the true amount of monies that I used to earn on YouTube on my first channel was $220 a day, or $3,850 a month. And now I posted the same videos in the same order, the same 50 or 60 videos, same order, right out of my drive on this channel after my first channel got taken down. And the videos that were getting 14,000 views a day in 2010-11 now get, well, one video that had 1.2 million views in a matter of about 6 weeks has now accrued total in 7.5 years, or 7 years, I think it was 800 views. So it went from 14,000 views a day to 800 views in 7 years. That is censorship. And that video had to do with the actual picture of the Ark of the Covenant, that which I call pictograph on the $1 bill, pictograph of the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill, because it's there, because it's a methodology in which I don't think the Masons can use it to the same level as the Illuminati or maybe the Club of Rome or the Vatican. I don't know. But I do know that there are thousands of references only that can be followed through the use of the King James Bible, directly related to the pictographs on the dollar bill. There is no other Bible that allows you to read the Bible and scroll from left to right on the dollar bill. Now I'm gonna go back over here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish reading. Let me finish reading my little notes here. Okay, so let's talk about what the word angel means from hoodwinked by an angel. And then, well, I might as well go to my, log on, because last time I talked for an hour and 20 minutes and Google destroyed my video by not letting anybody understand what was being said. So let me open this up and see if you guys can hear me. because this is rather interesting what they're doing to me. My channel, let's see, we'll go to Super Chat. So okay, so I have 15 watching now. I did give you the snag sign. Sasha, while you're here, I'm going to tell you that your friend in the Better Business Bureau did nothing for me. In fact, if your friend was the person who sent me the message, they closed the case because Shipping Quest didn't answer their emails. And that's it. So your friend in the Better Business Bureau was just a schmuck with arms and legs. Didn't do a damn thing for me. But thanks for trying. All right. If I don't reference your comments, it's because you're not a member of my Patreon account. So don't feel bad. As much as you want to be part of the conversation, if I referenced everybody's comments, I wouldn't have even seconds to do my video. All right, so you can see my comments. Nothing personal. If you become a member of my Super Chat community or more specifically, my Patreon community, I put more weight in your comments, although the comments are always interesting to read. I just don't have time to read everybody's comments. So let's see. Let's go to the word angel in my. Let's go to the word angel in my the title of my name. So hoodwinked. So we went over what hoodwink means. It means to deceive, to make a person believe one thing when actually it's another. Now the word angel. This is how I derived the name of my channel. The word angel does not. It's not what you guys think it is. It's not what you. It's a messenger of God, okay? But it doesn't have to be a messenger of God. It can be a book. It can be a leaflet. Anything that provides information. I'll read the definition of the word angel so that it's clear as day to you. Angel. Just put in Google, what is an angel? Okay, it's a spiritual believing. It's a spiritual being believed to act as an attendant, an agent, or messenger of God, conventionally represented in human form with wings and a long robe. God sent an angel to talk to Gideon. Messenger of God, divine/heavenly messenger, divine being, spirit. Okay, so no one ever figured out in 9 years that the angel I was talking about was the $1 bill, because it is a messenger of God. In fact, it says, "In God we trust one." Now, whether or not that God is the God of the Bible or the God of this world, or what we perceive to be either one of those two, is for you to decide. But according to legend, and it's allegory at best, Satan or Lucifer controls this world. Well, if that's the case, then why would him, he, or she put "In God we trust one" if it was the God that he was supposed to have fought in heaven? He would not. That was why I wrote the book, because I set out to prove the existence of an all-knowing, all-powerful God, and what I discovered was that the God of the $1 bill is the God of this world. Now, if you take each sentence or each pictograph in and of themselves, it could mean either. But as a whole, the angel of what we call Lucifer is the God on the $1 bill. And that is the reason that my channel is suppressed. I should have not thousands of subscribers, but millions of subscribers. But they know what I did. They know I proved that they are controlling this world. And who are they? They are, again, the Bohemian Grove Society, aka the American War Machine. And I'll get to a little bit more on that in about 45 seconds. The Skull and Bones Society, aka the banking industry of this world, and the Vatican, who controls both. Now, why do I say the Vatican controls both? Well, it's pretty simple. The Vatican allows, or doesn't say anything about, or forgets to say anything about all the wars and all the people that die in the name of God. And they allow all these countries that are on the Vatican side to start wars with all the other countries that don't believe in their God. Why didn't they kill me? They didn't. Now, as a member of Mason, as a member of the Masons, you swear a pledge that you will never reveal any secrets. Well, everybody takes that pledge, day one, under penalty of death, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Everybody takes the oath. However, what I disclosed to the world has nothing to do with Masonry. In fact, each time I made a new discovery on the dollar bill, I would bring it to the lodge and say, do you have any idea what this means? And I would already know what it meant in regards to the words in the Bible. And they would look at it in dumbfoundedness. Dumbfounded, they would look at it. They don't have a clue. At least not any of the people I spoke with, even I think it's the Grand Master of the Lodge. He had no clue. None of them. I went through 3 of those Grand Masters. None of them had a clue what was on the dollar bill. They did believe that there were symbols on the dollar bill, but it had more to do with Masonry than economics or religion. And in my book, I show you those symbols as well, but I did not learn it in the Brotherhood of Masons. I figured it out on my own, and I doubt very much that any Mason even knows what's in my book, and that where I have shown you word for word, increment for increment, pictograph for pictograph, the entrance into the porch, the pillars, and so on and so forth. Hundreds of little symbols that are referred to in the words of Masonry are on the dollar bill. And you have to read the words in the King James Bible and follow it as I wrote it in my book. And you will see that as absurd as what I just said is absurd, it's true. So I doubt very much that the Masons even understand what I did or how I did it. And I just did it by breaking down simple geometry with a pair of dividers and a compass and a micrometer and a vernier caliper. Okay. And I just went through the Bible word for word and looked for the little pictures on the dollar bill. And you'd be surprised. There are hundreds of them. And I stopped because I wanted to do a second book, and I wanted to get that published by April 15, 2010. And then I wanted to do a second book with some clown named Jordan Maxwell, who was a complete fraud, who was broke at the time, destitute. His wife was sick. He ran out of money. He couldn't pay his hospital bills. And I offered him to do a collaboration between myself and him because he had the name and I had the information. He would never return my phone call or my emails. And I probably made him that offer for several months, called up hundreds of times to his 10 different phone numbers. He never answered my phone calls or my emails because not because his wife was sick and died, not because of that, but because he knew that what I discovered was true, and he was afraid to allow his name to be associated with my discoveries, because he knows that the powers that be put that stuff on the dollar bill. He didn't know how much was there until he read my book. If he read my book, I don't know that to be true either. But I did send it to him free of charge. So nobody, not David Icke, another so-called truth speaker, wouldn't refer my phone calls or my emails. And that other clown, Alex Jones, he flat out didn't even, he said that because I put the initials WTF in the book 3 times, I couldn't post my book on his website because I insinuated the F word. That's what he said to me on the phone. And in addition to that, the cost of his website was $15,000 a month. So if I was willing to pay $15,000 a month, he still wouldn't allow it on his website because it contained a reference to the F word. Now, if you don't think that that's a government shill, he read the book. He knows what I proved. He knows what I did is true. He knows what I did is true and correct, as did David Icke when I sent him a copy of the book. None of those people will ever reference my material, ever. James Corbett recently made me invisible on his page because I sent him information and my link, the name of my channel, not a link, the name of my channel and what I discovered, not just once, but 3 or 4 times over the last 4 years. He will not have anything to do with me. Stefan Molyneux will never answer any of my emails or messages. I am invisible on their channels. I can leave a comment. Same with that other woman, Linda Moulton Howe. The comment appears to me, but nobody else can see it. Now, I put a comment up on her page a week ago that I talked about, and I was the 3rd commenter. 2 people said first before me, and I left the comment, the same one that I left on Eric Dubai's channel. And now there are 1,000 comments, and every one of them has 40, 50, 60, 70 thumbs up. My comment has no thumbs up because I'm invisible on her page. None of these people will have anything to do with my truths. Now, are my truths truthful? Yeah, they are. In fact, I proved it by putting out a $50,000 wager, but no one will take my wager. So what's the point? No one on this plane, because this earth is flat, or this, what we call planet Earth, it's flat. It's as flat as it gets. No one on this plane of existence will take my concepts and run with them. They fear for their lives. Now, I don't care about things like that. I don't care that these people are cowards. And I don't care whether or not my truths ever get exposed more than what I have exposed them. But what I do care about is some clown that I call the ladyboy lover in Manila saying that I have a failed Philippines YouTube blogging channel. That bothers me more than the fact that the most famous people in the world won't even acknowledge my discovery. And my discoveries are real. Here we go. Take a dollar bill.